Now, on another note, Wick, you got Lil Durk. You know, he released a voicemail a phone call from prison the other day, basically telling everybody to keep their head up and that he still had love for everybody, but, just sending out positive energy. What are your thoughts on Durk reaching out and just letting people know that he's okay and he'll be back to show some love again?
Yeah, and I heard that he did a song also. I couldn't find the song that he recorded in jail, but I heard the message.
Yeah.
And one thing that I, listening to the message and just listening to his voice, because I have been in jail before, a few different occasions.
Yeah.
I noticed right off the rip being sober. Being sober is the number one thing. You can hear it in a person's convo.
Yeah.
You can hear how relaxed they are.
Yeah.
When a lot of these artists and stuff are on the streets, you can hear the anger.
Yeah.
You can hear the drugs. You can hear the slur. You can hear a lot of stuff, and you can also, if you're listening, you can hear when they are locked up and they have gotten sober and they have a clear mind.
Yeah.
And that's what happens a lot of times once we're out here on the streets and we're doing different types of things.
Yeah.
And like I said, drugs ain't just a physical drug of the marijuana, cocaine, liquor. Like you said, the pressure of just life. Peer pressure is a drug.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to, you have to slide for your partner that got killed. That's that. That pressure is a drug. You understand what I'm saying? So, listening to him, I could hear clarity. And I feel bad for him in this sense right here. I hate that our young brothers have to get to the point to where it takes jail. It takes being incarcerated to get that clarity, to get that peace. He spoke about peace.
Yeah.
He spoke about, being at peace and doing the right thing if and when he gets out.
That's right.
But my question to you, B-How, would be is what do we do so that a person doesn't have to go down that rabbit hole to get that peace?
Yeah.
Why can't can our young brothers and young sisters get that peace while they're on the streets? And not have to, go sit down for, or face life or fight for their life to get clarity.
Yeah.
Now, and that's a question, $1 million question I'm trying to ask. What, and I kind of know it's peer pressure.
Yeah.
It's pressure out here in the streets to do stuff that that we really don't want to do. I say this all the time. Nobody really wants to fight.
Yeah.
We was in elementary and stuff, and after school, and you have to put the rock up on the shoulder, and somebody knock it off, and y'all just walking around in a circle for a minute. Nobody slap my hand. Nobody really wants to fight, but it's everybody that's standing around the fight. That want to see a fight, so they put in the peer pressure. Man, I want to see a B-How can knock Wick out. Because both of them are always talking shit. You know what I'm saying? They both popular.
Exactly.
I want to. This is
the Royal Rumble.
This is theater.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's kind of what life is doing to a lot of our young black men and women out here. And how do we diffuse that right there to make it to where it's cool to avoid the fight, to avoid having to slide, to avoid having to walk around with a switch, to avoid having to, how do we get there?
Okay, it goes back to how they got us out of that crack epidemic. They were like, hey man, crack is whack, say no to drugs, this is your brain on drugs. We had propaganda going out to let us know that, hey man, you don't really want to be on drugs because this is what it looks like. Right now, we got a pill epidemic where people are passing from fentanyl and stuff on a regular basis right now, but I don't see any advertisement or promotional material saying, hey, put the pills down, leave the pills alone because people are dying and overdosing from them. We need boys and girls clubs again in the community, recreation centers in the community where the young men and women can see grown, strong men mentoring them and telling them the do's and the don'ts and the rights and the wrongs of life, and guiding them from an early age so that they'll be deterred from going into the streets. Also, they have stuff to do. A lot of times, a lot of this stuff happens when kids are just sitting at home with nothing to do every day, so they go outside, and next thing you know, they trapping on the corner, running around, breaking into folks' cars, breaking into houses, and knocking the food. But if they would have been at football practice, or if they would have been at the gym, or if they would have been at podcasting camp, they might have been doing something more constructive. And then also the point of references that we got to give these kids. We got to show them that, hey man, you could be a successful podcaster, you could be a successful doctor, you could be a successful lawyer, you could be a successful entrepreneur, athlete, entertainer, whatever it is that you want to do. But we got to put these people back into the community so the kids can see them eye to eye and know what success really is, and they can get a better grasp on the reality of the world that they're going into. Because at the end of the day, if you're growing up in the hood, what you gonna see is somebody selling some drugs and making some money. What you gonna see is somebody stealing something and flipping a car that's hot and making some money.
Pimping.
But you're gonna see some pimping, but you might not see a doctor, a lawyer, entrepreneur, a podcaster, entertainer, or basketball player unless you in Atlanta, because a lot of times that's what makes the city so great, is that all of your famous and popular successful people are living right in the hood right along with you.
Correct.
So you seeing them at the gas station, you seeing their kids at the same school as your kids are, you seeing these people interacting with you in the community. So that's what made Atlanta so great. But for the most part, we got to have an all hands on deck approach to raising the youth. I mean, it starts with the kids, because you can't help no grown folks.
Right.
When folks get grown, they gonna make their own decisions.
Correct.
But with the kids, while their brain is still forming, we got to cultivate an air of something positive for them to be able to do, so they can go out there and be great in something other than what they see on a regular basis, man. And that's how I feel about that one.
Yeah. Well, man, like I said, me having a son that's in prison, I have I've tried to be there for him now, and I got him at a young age too. So like I said, the streets will get a hold of him, and influence them. Yeah. And take them down that wrong path too. So they, we have to fight a little extra harder.
Oh yeah.
Because we do know that there's an entity out here, energy out here that's trying to grab our kids.
That's right.
And trying to mold them in their likeness. Yeah. I see it every day on podcasts. I see grown 50-year-old men out here talking about who snitched, and it's cool to be in prison, and this and that, and and I'm like, how is this beneficial to young black men and black women? Right now, you sitting on these podcasts, you 50 years old, and you talk about gangbanging. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So we're fighting a uphill battle, but guys like you, me, and a lot of the guys in the comments, and a lot of the females in the comments, we got to, we just got to fight even harder. That's right. And push these people out of our community. A lot of these people in our community, they'll get their hands on our kids and tell them, the wrong thing to do, and have them go out and kill somebody or do this. But time we have a righteous cause, out here. I don't see a lot of the gangs out here, doing the Million Man March and standing up for our communities against the other side, when a lot of our rights and stuff are being stripped away. They're nowhere to be found. You understand what I'm saying? But time there's a concert or something, and you don't like this rapper, they out there forced to try to set an example, on camera to kill another black man or this or that. So our whole mindset in the community, what we put up with, what our FBAs put up with. That's why I love my FBA brothers. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with them on everything. They can get a little aggressive, but sometimes it takes that. You understand what I'm saying? My Muslim brothers, I don't agree with everything, but sometimes they can get a little aggressive. Obviously, they put their hands on Lil Durk, because that's what he's screaming in there. Allah, you know what I'm saying? So we need more of them, the FBAs, the Muslim brothers, our Christian brothers too, to collaborate with just your regular each other and us. Just your regular black men just trying to make it, but ain't out here doing killing the community. And all us got to come together. We got to push out these clowns. out of the community that has their hands on our kids that wind up turning out like Lil Durks.
Yeah. Well, hey, y'all heard the man. Anything you got going on with they need to know about?
Yeah, the Real Ghetto Mafia. Come on over, man. I'm just blessed.
Y'all heard the man. He's still blessed. I'm blessed. Hope y'all blessed. Be High Radio, shout it. Big Galaxy. We go.